tried to rob me of everything that I ever had. After growing up in church my whole life, I woke up in my 20s hooked on drugs and wasting the talent that God had given me, and really was nothing more than a liar and a con artist. We'd only been married 3 years when she found out that I was going to lose my job, and man, I was broken. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I didn't think I'd ever get to do this again. What I get to do tonight is a gift to me, because it was gone. The devil tried to take it from me. But let me tell you what I've learned over the last 13 years. The devil's a loser, and he's a liar. And the reason I say that is because today I've been clean and sober 4,535 days. And that's because of Jesus. I get the opportunity now to go all over the country and tell my story, and I don't tell my story because I think it's fun to talk about. I tell you my story to give you hope. Because every person in this auditorium has been touched by addiction. It may not be you, but somebody you love. Some of your kids and your grandkids, some of your spouses, aunts and uncles, maybe it's your grandparents, maybe it's your parents. I remember one night I used to say, you know, I know a lot of your kids and your grandkids are walking through addiction. I had a young girl, teenage girl, came up to my table and she said, hey, the next time you say that, will you mention parents too? So her parents were hooked on drugs. The reason that we got in that bus and drove 7 hours, we didn't come here to make money. I didn't come here for your applause. I came here to remind you that Jesus is still in the business of breaking chains and setting people free. And what he did for me, he can do it for you, and he can do it for your kids. Listen, he can do it for this community. He can do it for Monroe, Louisiana. He can do it for the state of Louisiana. He can do it for the United States of America, and he can do it for the world. Because God is bigger than the chains of addiction. He's bigger than the stronghold of alcoholism. I checked in a rehab facility. I lived there for 30 days and got out and did 5 weeks of outpatient. At that point, I'd been in treatment almost 3 months when I asked my counselor, David Savington, I said, what do I do now? And he said, why don't you go to 90 meetings in 90 days? And I said, you gotta be kidding me. I said, how in the world, how am I gonna do that? He had the best response. He said, Joseph, did you use drugs for 90 days in a row? I said, yeah. He said, well, there's good news. You've already proven you can do something for 90 days in a row. Never did like that guy. But I started going to these meetings. And I discovered something that I never knew. They're taking place in the basements of churches all over the country. And I've always known what happens upstairs. I love what happens in here. But I think sometimes he does his best work in the unseen places. Because after growing up in church my whole life, you know where I finally found him? You know where he finally found me? It was down a creaky flight of stairs in an old church basement. On any given Sunday, the saints are in the pews. They sing their songs and say amen as the preacher brings good news. They gather round the altar and call on Jesus' name. He never fails to meet them there. Lives are always changed, but on any given Thursday night, down a creaky flight of stairs, through a door that never shuts just right, in some worn out folding chairs, there's a different kind of desperate most folks never see. And if you think what happens upstairs is amazing, wait until you see what he's been doing in the basement. There ain't much shouting, much less suits and ties, cheap coffee and the smell of smoke, some coming off a high. Hello, my name is so-and-so. Hello, I'm glad you came. And just like that, this worn-out room becomes a holy place. 'Cause on any given Thursday night, down a creaky flight of stairs, through a door that never shuts just right, in some worn-out folding chairs, there's a different kind of desperate most folks never see. And if you think what happens upstairs is amazing, wait until you see what he's been doing in the basement. How many of you believe that God is still in the miracle working business? Can somebody praise Jesus? If you've never seen a miracle, I can tell you where the needs. I know at least a dozen, and you know one now. 'Cause you know me. On any given Thursday night, down a creaky flight of stairs, through a door that never shuts just right, in some worn-out folding chairs, there's a different kind of desperate, that's me, most folks never see. And if you think what happens upstairs is amazing, yeah, we all know what happens upstairs, it's amazing. But wait until you see what he's been doing in the basement. I've seen him in the basement.